Did you know that mastering self-discipline could be the key to transforming your life, just like it did for Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Emperor? In today's video, you'll discover 10 powerful Stoic hacks from Marcus Aurelius designed to help you strengthen your self-discipline. Whether you're aiming to conquer distractions, boost productivity, or achieve your personal goals, these time-tested principles are here to guide you. Many of us struggle with self-discipline, feeling overwhelmed by distractions, procrastination, or temptations. It's easy to set goals, but hard to stay focused. Marcus Aurelius, as both a philosopher and a ruler, faced enormous pressure, yet managed to maintain calm and control. How did he do it? Through Stoicism, a philosophy of mastering the self. Let's dive into 10 actionable Stoic hacks that you can apply to your life today. Each one is designed to help you build discipline and resilience in your everyday life. Let's dive deeper into what it truly means to focus on what you can control. This principle is one of the core teachings of Stoicism, and it's incredibly liberating once you fully embrace it. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of this truth. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about your daily life for a moment. How often do you stress about things you simply have no influence over? Whether it's the weather ruining your plans, someone else's rude behavior, or an unexpected obstacle at work, it's easy to get overwhelmed by external events. The Stoics teach us that true freedom comes from letting go of what's out of our hands and putting all our energy into what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and responses. Consider this: you're stuck in traffic. The natural reaction might be frustration or anger, but here's the key: you can't control the traffic. No matter how upset you get, it won't change the situation. What you can control, however, is your attitude. Instead of spiraling into frustration, ask yourself, how can I use this time productively? Maybe you can use the extra time to listen to a podcast, reflect on your day, or even practice mindfulness. When you focus on what's within your power, the things outside your control start to lose their grip on you. This shift in thinking changes everything. It puts you in control of your emotions, instead of letting external events control you. How to apply this in your life? First of all, identify your stressors. Write down 3 things that often cause you stress. Now, next to each one, ask yourself, do I have direct control over this? Cross out everything you don't control. Second, shift your focus. For every stressor you can't control, reframe your thinking. Instead of dwelling on what you can't change, shift your energy towards something you can influence, like your mood, mindset, or next action. Lastly, create a daily mantra. Start your day with a Stoic reminder. Today, I will focus only on what I can control. This simple affirmation can set the tone for a more peaceful and disciplined day. One of Marcus Aurelius' most famous practices was his morning reflection, a time he used to set intentions for the day. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Starting your day with purpose is more than just a motivational quote. It's about grounding yourself in your values and goals before the distractions of the day pull you in different directions. We live in a world full of noise: social media notifications, emails, deadlines, and endless to-do lists. It's easy to wake up and immediately get sucked into this whirlwind, reacting to whatever demands attention first. But Stoicism teaches us to approach each day with intention. It's not about letting the world dictate your actions, but about deciding what's important to you and sticking to it. So, how to set a purpose for your day? First of all, create a morning routine. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. Start with something that centers you. Whether it's a few moments of meditation, a gratitude practice, or writing down your goals for the day. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today? This doesn't always have to be about productivity. It could be about being more patient, practicing kindness, or staying calm in stressful situations. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every morning. Before he faced the responsibilities of being an emperor, he grounded himself in his values, reminding himself of what truly mattered. You don't need an elaborate routine, just a few intentional moments to focus your mind. Second, Decide your non-negotiables. A powerful way to stay disciplined is to decide what you absolutely want to accomplish before the day begins. This might be completing a key task, spending time with family, or practicing self-care. When you start with clear priorities, you're less likely to get derailed by distractions. The third step is to visualize the day. Another Stoic practice is premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Essentially, you mentally prepare yourself for the challenges that might come your way. Ask yourself, what obstacles might I face today, and how will I respond? This doesn't mean expecting the worst, but being prepared for anything that could happen. By anticipating challenges, you're less likely to get thrown off track and more equipped to stay disciplined and focused. Starting your day with purpose isn't just about productivity. It's about grounding yourself in what matters to you. It's about ensuring that each day is aligned with your values, rather than letting life pull you in 1,000 directions. When you begin each day with intention, discipline naturally follows. Emotional detachment is one of the most powerful Stoic tools for mastering self-discipline. It's not about suppressing emotions or becoming cold-hearted. Instead, it's about not letting your emotions control your actions. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of controlling one's inner state. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. We all experience strong emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, or even excitement. But here's the catch. Acting impulsively based on these emotions often leads to regret or loss of control. Emotional detachment allows you to pause, observe your emotions, and then make decisions based on reason rather than impulse. Think of emotions as waves on the surface of the ocean. They can be powerful and overwhelming, but underneath, the ocean is calm and steady. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate that deeper, steady part of ourselves. So when the waves come, we remain grounded. How to practice emotional detachment in your daily life. Step number 1 is to pause before reacting. The next time you feel a strong emotion rising, practice pausing. Before you react, whether it's responding to an angry email or arguing with someone, take a moment to breathe. Ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? This brief pause gives you the space to choose a calm and reasoned response, rather than letting your emotions take the lead. Step number 2 is to reframe negative emotions. Marcus Aurelius often practiced reframing his thoughts. When faced with anger or frustration, he would ask himself, is this emotion helping or hurting me? By acknowledging that emotions are temporary, you can step back and view them objectively. Instead of being consumed by anger or fear, recognize that these feelings are just mental events. They don't define you or dictate your actions. Step number 3 is to build emotional resilience. Emotional detachment is a skill you can build over time. One way to practice is through mindfulness or meditation. These practices train your mind to observe thoughts and emotions without judgment or reaction. Over time, you'll become more skilled at recognizing when your emotions are trying to take control, and you'll be better equipped to maintain your discipline. The last step is to focus on long-term goals. When you find yourself emotionally overwhelmed, ask yourself how this situation fits into your long-term goals. Will reacting out of anger or frustration help you achieve what's most important to you? Likely not. Keeping your bigger vision in mind helps you stay detached from temporary emotional impulses. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Practicing emotional detachment allows you to revoke that power from external events and take control of your inner state. It's a skill that, once mastered, makes you unstoppable in your journey towards self-discipline. When you practice emotional detachment, you learn to observe your emotions, understand them, and then choose your actions based on logic and reason, not impulse. This is the key to mastering self-discipline. One of the most fascinating aspects of Stoic philosophy is the idea of embracing discomfort on purpose. This might sound counterintuitive. Why would anyone choose to make themselves uncomfortable? Well, according to the Stoics, voluntary discomfort is a way to build mental toughness and resilience. Marcus Aurelius believed that through discomfort, we learn to prepare ourselves for the inevitable challenges of life. Let's take a step back and think about this. We live in a world where comfort is readily available. From climate control to food delivery, most of us don't have to face the discomforts that earlier generations endured. And yet, with this comfort comes a certain fragility. When life gets tough, we're often unprepared. Voluntary discomfort helps us toughen our minds, making us more adaptable when unexpected hardships arise. Marcus Aurelius practiced this by regularly depriving himself of luxuries. Whether it was sleeping on a hard floor, eating simple meals, or exposing himself to the cold, he deliberately placed himself in uncomfortable situations. Why? Because he knew that discomfort is temporary, but the strength it builds lasts forever. So, how to embrace voluntary discomfort? Let's see the practical steps. Step number 1 is to start small with physical discomfort. You don't need to live in a cave to practice voluntary discomfort. Start with small acts, like taking a cold shower or skipping a meal, intermittent fasting. These experiences push you out of your comfort zone and train your mind to be resilient in the face of challenges. Think of it as exercise for your mind. By embracing physical discomfort, you remind yourself that you don't need everything to be perfect or comfortable to function. The cold water or hunger pangs will pass, but the mental toughness you gain from enduring them will stay with you. Step number 2 is to challenge your emotional comfort zone. It's not just about physical discomfort. Stoicism teaches us to challenge our emotional comfort zones too. Have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding, or speak up when you'd usually stay silent. When you expose yourself to emotionally uncomfortable situations, you grow stronger and more adaptable in the long run. Step number 3 is to seek out new experiences. Discomfort often comes from unfamiliarity. Whether it's trying a new skill, taking on a new project at work, or traveling somewhere unknown, putting yourself in unfamiliar situations forces you to adapt, learn, and grow. This helps you face uncertainty with confidence, knowing that you voluntarily dealt with discomfort before. Finally, step number 4 is to limit luxuries occasionally. Another Stoic practice is to deliberately limit your luxuries for a short period. Try a week without your favorite snack, or limit your time on social media. Depriving yourself of small pleasures teaches you that you can live without them and reminds you that true happiness isn't tied to material comforts. By embracing voluntary discomfort, you strengthen your mind, preparing it for the inevitable challenges life will throw at you. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Discomfort isn't something to fear. It's something to face head-on, knowing that it will make you stronger. Self-reflection is one of the cornerstones of Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius often referred to the power of looking inward, reflecting on his thoughts, actions, and progress throughout each day. In his book Meditations, he wrote, "At the day's end, take time to evaluate what you did and how well you managed to stay true to your principles." For Marcus, reflection wasn't just a passing thought. It was a disciplined practice that allowed him to consistently improve himself. When we take the time to reflect, we gain a clearer understanding of our actions, thoughts, and intentions. Daily reflection helps us stay grounded in our values, identify areas for growth, and reinforce the positive habits we want to cultivate. But here's the challenge. Most of us are too busy to pause and reflect. Our days are packed with work, social commitments, and distractions, leaving little room for introspection. The Stoics remind us that without reflection, we're likely to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. When you practice daily reflection, you give yourself the gift of self-awareness, allowing you to align your actions with your long-term goals and values. How to practice daily reflection daily. 1. Set aside time each evening. Reflection doesn't need to be a long, drawn-out process. Just 5 or 10 minutes at the end of your day is enough. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted and ask yourself a few simple questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? Did I live according to my values? 2. Keep a reflection journal. Many Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, kept journals where they wrote down their reflections. You can do the same. Write about your daily experiences, what challenges you faced, and how you handled them. This simple act of putting your thoughts on paper helps you see patterns in your behavior and recognize areas for improvement. 3. Acknowledge mistakes without judgment. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when reflecting on our day. Maybe you lost your temper, or perhaps you didn't accomplish everything you wanted to. Instead of beating yourself up, use stoic reflection as a tool for growth. Acknowledge your mistakes without judgment, and focus on what you can do differently tomorrow. 4. Celebrate small wins. Reflection isn't just about identifying your shortcomings. It's also an opportunity to celebrate your successes, however small. Maybe you practiced patience in a difficult situation or stayed focused on a task despite distractions. Recognizing these wins keeps you motivated and reinforces positive habits. Finally, the last step is to visualize tomorrow. As part of your reflection, take a moment to visualize how you want to approach the next day. Imagine yourself handling challenges with calmness and discipline. By doing this, you set the stage for a more intentional and focused day ahead. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools for self-discipline. It allows you to pause, assess, and adjust, ensuring that each day is an opportunity for growth. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And reflection is the first step toward becoming that person. Focusing on the present moment is a central teaching in Stoicism and perhaps one of the most profound ways to cultivate self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly emphasized the importance of staying grounded in the now. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This simple yet powerful reminder is at the core of Stoic wisdom. Why is focusing on the present so important? Because much of our anxiety, stress, and lack of discipline come from being mentally stuck in the past or worrying about the future. When our minds are divided between regret over yesterday and fear about tomorrow, we lose the ability to focus on what we can actually influence, the here and now. Consider this. How often do you find yourself ruminating over something that already happened or stressing over something that might happen? These thoughts not only sap your mental energy but also pull you away from the task at hand. Stoicism teaches that true power and discipline come from focusing fully on the present moment, on what you can do right now. Let's now dive in how to focus on the present moment. Start with mindful breathing. One of the simplest ways to bring your mind back to the present is through mindful breathing. When you feel your thoughts drifting to the past or future, take a moment to focus on your breath. Count each inhale and exhale, feeling the air fill your lungs and then release. This small practice helps anchor your mind in the present moment. Step number 2 is to limit multitasking. Multitasking is one of the biggest enemies of staying present. We often think that doing multiple things at once makes us more productive, but in reality, it scatters our focus. Instead, commit to doing one thing at a time, giving it your full attention. Whether you're working, spending time with loved ones, or even eating a meal, be fully present in that moment. Step number 3 is to shift your thoughts away from what-if scenarios. How often do you find yourself thinking about what might happen? The Stoics believed that worrying about future events was a waste of time and energy. Instead, focus on what you can do right now. Ask yourself, what is the best action I can take in this moment? This simple question shifts your attention away from hypothetical scenarios and back to the present. Step number 4 is to embrace impermanence. Stoicism teaches that everything is temporary. Your current challenges, your emotions, even the good things in life, all are fleeting. When you embrace this impermanence, it becomes easier to stay grounded in the present. Knowing that every moment is temporary allows you to focus on what matters most, without being overwhelmed by distractions or fears. Step number 5 is to use your senses to ground yourself. When you feel your mind drifting, use your senses to bring yourself back to the present. Notice the details around you, the sounds, the smells, the feel of the air on your skin. This sensory awareness helps pull you out of your thoughts and into the now. By focusing on the present moment, you reclaim your power. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain, but the present, this very moment, is where your control lies. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last." When you live fully in the present, you not only cultivate self-discipline but also a deep sense of peace and clarity. Self-discipline isn't just about getting things done. It's about knowing where to draw the line with yourself. Most of us think of boundaries as something we set for others, but the truth is, some of the most important boundaries are the ones we establish with ourselves. Marcus Aurelius understood that setting clear, firm boundaries is critical to mastering self-discipline. He believed in the necessity of training the mind to know when to say no, even to its own impulses. So, what does it mean to set boundaries with yourself? It means recognizing your limits, creating a personal code of conduct, and not allowing indulgence, distraction, or procrastination to derail you from your goals. The moment you allow yourself to slip into bad habits, those small indulgences quickly add up, and before you know it, your focus and discipline start to crumble. Setting boundaries with yourself is about accountability. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard, even when no one else is watching. Now let's see how to set boundaries with yourself. First step is to define your priorities. The first step in setting boundaries is knowing your priorities. Ask yourself, what are the most important things I want to accomplish? Could be in your personal life, career, or health. Once you define those, everything else should take a back seat. Set specific boundaries that protect those priorities. For example, if your health is a priority, set a boundary around not skipping workouts or eating junk food during the week. Second step is to create non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are rules you create for yourself that you commit to without exception. Maybe it's no phone during work hours, or no TV until you've completed your daily goals. These small rules serve as reminders that discipline isn't about motivation. It's about structure. When you set these boundaries, you eliminate the need to make constant decisions throughout the day. Third step is to manage your time. One of the most important boundaries you can set with yourself is how you spend your time. Time is your most valuable resource, yet it's so easy to waste. Create a schedule or time block your day, where each task has a dedicated time slot. Hold yourself accountable to that schedule. When you set clear boundaries with how you use your time, distractions like social media or unnecessary tasks lose their power. The last step is to hold yourself accountable. Setting boundaries is only half the battle. The real challenge comes in holding yourself accountable to them. If you slip up, don't beat yourself up, but don't let yourself off the hook either. Remind yourself of why those boundaries matter. You're not just limiting yourself for no reason. You're protecting your discipline, your growth, and your future. Setting boundaries with yourself is like creating a safety net for your goals. It ensures that when temptation, procrastination, or distractions creep in, you remain steadfast, committed, and disciplined. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply that same rigor to your actions and decisions. This Stoic hack is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make. Marcus Aurelius is famously quoted as saying, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What does this mean? In Stoicism, obstacles are not seen as barriers but as opportunities for growth. Rather than getting frustrated when something blocks your path, Stoicism teaches us to embrace the challenge and find a way to use it to our advantage. Let's think about this practically. We've all encountered obstacles, whether it's a setback at work, a personal disappointment, or even something as simple as a daily inconvenience like traffic or a missed deadline. Most people see these situations as negatives, things to get frustrated about. But in the Stoic view, every obstacle presents a chance to improve. When faced with a challenge, the Stoic asks, "How can I grow from this?" It's about reframing your mindset so that every difficulty becomes a stepping stone toward becoming more resilient, patient, and disciplined. So, how to use obstacles as opportunities? Let's dive in some practical steps. Step 1. Reframe setbacks. The next time you encounter a setback, instead of reacting with frustration or defeat, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe you've been given an opportunity to practice patience, to develop a new skill, or to strengthen your resolve. The obstacle isn't something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Step 2. Seek the silver lining. Often, challenges force us to think outside the box or take a path we wouldn't normally choose. Many successful people will tell you that their greatest achievements came from overcoming their biggest obstacles. Whether it's in your personal life or career, look for the silver lining in every obstacle. Ask yourself, how is this helping me become better? Step 3. Turn problems into solutions. Instead of viewing problems as roadblocks, see them as puzzles to solve. A Stoic mindset transforms problems into opportunities to develop creative solutions. For example, if you're faced with a work setback, consider it an opportunity to strengthen your problem-solving skills. Or if you encounter a personal challenge, view it as a way to grow emotionally. Step 4. Practice patience. Some obstacles are longer-term and can't be solved immediately. In these cases, the obstacle becomes an opportunity to cultivate patience. Stoicism teaches us that not every problem has a quick fix, and that's okay. Use the time to focus on your mental resilience, practicing the art of patience and perseverance. By using obstacles as opportunities, you take control of your mindset. No longer do challenges defeat you, they empower you. Every obstacle is a chance to practice a virtue, whether it's patience, problem-solving, or adaptability. The Stoics believed that obstacles don't block the path. They are the path. So, the next time you encounter a challenge, remind yourself that this is your opportunity to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote perfectly captures one of the most crucial Stoic hacks: controlling your reactions. In life, you will face countless situations where people or events provoke you. Whether it's an argument with a colleague, a disagreement with a friend, or something unexpected happening. What separates the disciplined from the undisciplined is the ability to control their emotional reactions. Think about the last time someone cut you off in traffic, or you received negative feedback at work. Your immediate reaction might have been anger or frustration, but did that emotional response help the situation? Probably not. The Stoics teach us that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react. And it's in our reactions that true discipline and power are found. Do you know how to control your reactions? Let's discuss some of the most powerful steps to implement control of your reactions in your daily life instantly. The step number 1 is to pause before responding. This is one of the most practical Stoic techniques. When you feel the surge of emotion, whether it's anger, frustration, or impatience, train yourself to pause. In that pause, ask yourself, is this how I want to react? That small moment of reflection gives you the power to choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. Step number 2 is to detach from the emotion. Stoicism teaches that emotions themselves aren't the problem. It's our attachment to them that causes issues. When you feel a strong emotion, try to detach from it by observing it from a distance. Imagine you're watching your feelings on a movie screen. Observe them, but don't let them dictate your actions. Step number 3 is to practice cognitive reframing. When faced with a challenging situation, practice reframing how you think about it. Instead of seeing it as a personal attack or a failure, see it as neutral. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this? Reframing allows you to control your thoughts, which in turn controls your emotions and reactions. Step number 4 is to focus on long-term goals. One of the reasons we lose control of our reactions is because we're focused on short-term frustrations. A Stoic shifts their perspective to the long term. Ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? A week from now? Often, what seems like a big deal at the moment is trivial in the grand scheme of things. Focusing on your bigger picture goals helps you stay calm and grounded. When you control your reactions, you take back your power. The world around you may be chaotic, but as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, true strength comes from mastering our own minds. One of the most profound teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism is the idea that every action you take should have meaning. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy for dealing with challenges. It's a guide for living a purposeful, intentional life. Marcus Aurelius believed that every decision, every action, no matter how small, should be aligned with your values and long-term goals. It's easy to fall into the trap of going through the motions in life, whether it's at work, in relationships, or in your daily routines. But the Stoics remind us that nothing is insignificant. Even the smallest actions can contribute to a life of meaning and fulfillment. Think about the way you approach your daily tasks. Do you do things mindlessly just to get them over with? Or do you approach each action with care, intention, and purpose? Marcus Aurelius wrote, Do every act of your life as though it were the last. What he's reminding us is that life is finite, and every moment counts. When you approach life with this mindset, self-discipline becomes second nature, because every action has weight, every choice matters. Let's conclude with a practical guide on how to find meaning in every action. Step 1. Align actions with values. The first step to finding meaning is ensuring that your actions align with your values. Ask yourself, does this action reflect the kind of person I want to be? Whether it's a small task like cleaning your space or a big decision like choosing a career path, make sure it's in line with what you stand for. Step 2. Practice mindfulness in routine tasks. One of the most transformative practices is bringing mindfulness to even the most routine tasks. Whether it's washing dishes, responding to emails, or exercising, approach each activity with focus and intention. Remind yourself that these small actions contribute to your overall well-being and goals. Step 3. Reflect on the bigger picture. Before starting any task, take a moment to reflect on why it matters. How does this contribute to your long-term vision? By connecting your daily tasks to your larger purpose, you transform them from chores into meaningful acts. Step 4. Embrace excellence in everything. Marcus Aurelius encouraged the pursuit of excellence in everything you do, no matter how small. Approach each task with care and attention to detail. When you commit to doing your best in every action, you build self-discipline, and over time, this commitment to excellence compounds, leading to a more purposeful and fulfilled life. Finding meaning in every action isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about making sure that each choice, each task, contributes to the life you want to live. As the Stoics taught us, purpose is the foundation of discipline. When your actions have meaning, discipline follows naturally because you're not just doing things for the sake of doing them. You're doing them with purpose, with intention, and with a clear vision of the person you want to become. Of all these hacks, the most impactful is learning to focus only on what you can control. When you adopt this mindset, distractions, setbacks, and frustrations lose their power over you. You become laser-focused on your own actions and decisions, no longer affected by external noise. This single shift in perspective can transform your approach to discipline, helping you stay committed to your goals regardless of the chaos around you. Let's recap the 10 Stoic hacks we've covered today. From focusing on what you can control to embracing voluntary discomfort, these practical steps are all rooted in Stoic philosophy and designed to help you master self-discipline like Marcus Aurelius. Remember, discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one small step at a time. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to check out my other videos on Stoicism. Comment below with your favorite hack like this video, and share it with someone who could use a bit more Stoic wisdom in their life. And don't forget to subscribe to stay connected with our growing community of Stoics here on Stoic Home.